So my talk is on post-development and customer service. My name is William Vabrinskas. My Twitter handle is William_Vab. Now, customer service and all these other things I'm about to mention are pretty basic stuff that most people understand, but a lot of people don't follow it. Post-release maintenance is a key factor to retaining a loyal customer base and building a name for yourself, especially if you're a new developer.
Once an application or extension is completed and released, well, the work isn't over. There's more stuff we have to focus on. There are still some important factors that must be kept in mind. For example, bug reports, usability, user experience, and user satisfaction being one of the most important ones, and availability of the developer. So we're going to talk about squashing the bugs in your project. Bug reports allow the end user to communicate with you any errors they run into with your software. As developers, many of you have probably received tons of these emails. These are critical to user retention and must be responded to immediately. Relatively. Do not simply assume that the conflict is with another tweak. So this is for tweak development, not specifically application development, but for tweak development, do not simply assume and jump to conclusions that it's just a problem with another tweak. It could be something that you've done. It may be really difficult to remove a bug, but it's all worth it, especially for a new developer who's trying to make a name, especially that's what I mentioned before. Most bug reports can be replied to quickly just by saying, I'm aware of the issue, and I'm currently working on a fix. Thank you for letting me know, it's much appreciated. A simple email like that in a response is just letting the user know that you're paying attention to the report, and that you may or may not be doing something to fix the problem. It is important that the user knows you're paying attention to their request, and that they don't feel abandoned by you. If the bug report is vague, don't hesitate to ask for more detailed information. Don't just ignore the email. I mean, that's happened to me before, but simply just don't ignore the email. Ask for more information, and maybe we can fix the bug in a quicker time frame. Usability. So you want to use and abuse your application or tweak before it's even released and post-release. This could make or break an application or extension. So if the extension you're saying is really good and the usability and the function is there, if there's a bug that's breaking this, you'd want to fix that. Ease of use balanced with functionality is key. So it's essentially what usability is. Clean UI that is backed up by functionality. It is a top priority to fix a usability issue if a user reports there is one. This could be an extension that doesn't do what is advertised or has a negative side effect. So this is something that you want to consider. Do vigorous beta testing post-release, as I mentioned also pre-release, but that's a different story, to make sure the functionality matches the UI. For example, imagine a double tap that opened the control center as opposed to swiping up. That'd be a concern, because that doesn't match the functionality of the control center. Issues may not come up during initial pre-release testing, but continual testing will help reduce bug reports and usability issues that a user may present to you while they're using it. Because granted, you're coding for maybe a couple months on this one thing, and you look at your code, and you're like, all right, this is fine. I don't see an issue, but when finally someone gets into their hands and they see a usability issue, that's something that you have to consider. User experience. So as I mentioned, usability directly affects the user experience. The end user should have a fast and hopefully bug-free experience. The key word there is hopefully. The best way to make sure of this is to have a lightweight and clean UI, mentioned several times. Do extensive testing, again, mentioned several. Similar importance to usability as they go hand in hand. What generally falls into this category are requests from users to add functionality. The important thing to consider when a user requests to add functionality is, does it fit with the extension or application? Is it completely different? If your application or extension is used in, the Notes app, if they're asking you to add a functionality to the Maps app, it's completely irrelevant. There's absolutely no reason to add that. Will it break current functionality? Will you have to take several hours fixing your current functionality if they have to add a new one? And could it be a standalone project? That goes with the first point. If they ask you to make a Maps extension and to add it into the Notes one, I don't know why they would, but if they did, could it be its own project? If it could, I don't see a reason why you'd add it into your own project. And the key point here is end user satisfaction. This is what we're getting to. So this is post-development. This is something you want to make sure is with your application. Once an extension application is completed, there's a really important role that needs to be filled. PR management. Frequently, users will begin to email you bug reports, suggestions for features, requests for free copies, if it's applicable, and a myriad of other things. it is very easy to get overwhelmed, especially if the project is big and popular. You know, a lot of emails can seem to be a negative thing, but you know, you have to stick with it and make sure that you answer as many emails as possible with a positive and respectful tone, even if the user is disrespectful to you. I'm sure this happens to a lot where, you know, a user is pretty much targeting you for something that you didn't even know existed until they used it, but you have to make sure that, you know, you answer them in a positive tone and saying, you know, I'm working on this. You know, I'm sorry that it happened to you, but just make sure that you don't answer back with a negative tone. Essentially, you want to kill them with kindness. It's really the best way to do it. Users will assume the developer was just in it for the money and recognition if emails go unanswered. This has happened several times. You know, you've seen it posted in our jailbreak before, where, you know, a developer has gone missing and they're going, well, they must have just been in it for the money. You know, it depends if the application is paid or not. But it's something you want to avoid, especially if, you know, it's something you want to avoid if you want a good user base. Avoid setting ETAs in emails. This will generally backfire if you do. Setting a weak ETA on a simple fix might seem okay at the time when they're answering an email, but you know, something could come up and now it's 2 weeks, and now you have a user that's not happy. You know, so avoid setting ETAs, just say you're working on a fix and just keep them happy as much as you can without putting yourself in a deadline. Because this might actually increase the number of bugs in your application if you're watching it. Provide users the information they want in a clear and concise statement. Don't be too technical when referring to a bug in your application because, well, you know, you want to avoid confusion. That's really the best way to do it. Use layman's terms if you can, especially when referring to a coding issue. And one important thing is availability. The availability of the developer is key in this situation. Users have to know where they can easily contact you so they can provide you with feedback on your application or extension. Citing does provide this option with email. But there are more effective ways to make yourself more available to the end user. Use many forms of social media as you can to help extend and make your presence known to your users. One of the top forms of communication is Twitter. Everyone here has a Twitter handle, mostly on their badge. So you can either set up a Twitter handle for your specific project, or you can use your own personal Twitter account to answer questions and feedback. This is generally what I do. It's simple, and maybe Twitter will eventually remove the 140-character count in the direct message. It's still there. Yeah. Utilize the power of our jailbreak. Occasionally search for your own extension or application in there. I've done it several times. I've answered a lot of my own questions users had in our jailbreak simply by searching one of my tweaks. It's pretty simple to do. It takes about 5 minutes. And if there are none, then 0 minutes. You know, it's that simple. Answer as many users as possible. Let them know you're actively available to take any comments or questions. That's simple as it is. And my closing remarks here. I have cyber. Let's remove it. Okay. So, closing remarks. End user satisfaction is an extremely important factor that some developers overlook. Providing excellent customer service can make a great project even better. It can be an effective tool to actually combat piracy. If you answer email professionally with respect, it removes the anonymity associated with the project, and it puts a real person behind it. This will make people feel that they aren't pirating just software, but they are stealing from an actual person. Users will feel more inclined to purchase or use something from you if you provide them with more than just the software. You're accompanying them with a person who's willing to answer any questions that they have, as opposed to just leaving them hanging and they feel like, well, you know, this person abandoned the project. I don't think, why would it be working? You know, that's the issue. Excellent customer service combined with a solid product will help you make a positive name for yourself. So just keep that in mind, and thank you.